Hello.
Hello. What an
I went low
adventure.
this time. Normally, I'm pretty energetic. I went low this time. Anyway, welcome to EG Live. I'm your host, Eugene Stevens. Tonight, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Cyrus Martin. How you doing, man?
I'm decent.
That's about it, right?
I'm good.
Fair enough.
I'm
fair
good.
enough. So we've got some interesting stories to talk about. One of them, like a lot of people will kind of, I don't want to say play dumb, but they ask the simpler questions so that the expert can go through and fully explain, and break it down for the audience as to what's going on. That's not what's happening tonight. One of the stories I legitimately was like, I don't know if this is important or not. And I was like, Cyrus, is this important? He's like, yes, we're talking about this one. So I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, we've got some good stories to talk about. Before we do that, let's go ahead and jump on into the summer movie game update. I think this is it. Honestly, we've still got like a whole month worth of time for movies to pull in, more money, and I don't think it's going to change anything. Like, honestly, I think a couple of things may shift around. I think Fantastic Four, whether or not Fantastic Four catches How to Train Your Dragon, that's kind of the real question. But anyway, number one, Lilo and Stitch still, Superman at 421, Superman 331. Jurassic World has run out of steam. That's pretty much where it's sitting at. How to Train Your Dragon 261, Fantastic Four 230. I would say and would think Fantastic Four could catch How to Train Your Dragon, but man, I think it only made like 15 million this last weekend, and like that's down from 60 the weekend before. So it's like almost quartering every so many every 2 weeks, or every week or whatever. So I like, it's gonna be a real question whether or not it's gonna hit the catch 261 before it's all said and done. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning pretty much done at 197. Thunderbolts done at 190. F1 continues to make money. I guess it might catch Thunderbolts. I don't know, we'll see. Final Destination at 138, and I don't think anything's going to catch Elio, but it might. Like, there was something that came out this last week that I think did fairly well at 40 million, but we'll see. But before we move on to the rest of the stuff, you saw Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and my brother, we both went to see it. We saw it in 3D. We didn't get to watch it on IMAX because they already took it off IMAX. Because you're right, the movie's not making the money that they expected it to make. But I'll tell you this. I've seen Superman, the new one, and I've seen Fantastic Four, and only one of these movies is fantastic. I got to tell you, it's a damn shame that people have not given this movie more of a chance, because Fantastic Four is really good.
Really?
It's very well made. It has a really cool noir aesthetic. Its world building is fascinating. The acting is really good from everyone. I liked every character. There's something going on, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a certain spirit to the movie that I haven't seen in a superhero movie since the old Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
There's something we've been missing in the comic book superhero genre. And this movie reminded me of it. And yeah, it's a damn shame. I don't think people are giving this movie a chance because the commercials were good, but also kind of confusing to people because they were like, what is this going to be like? And do I really want to take a chance on another superhero movie and be disappointed when every single one of them that has come out in the past 3 years has been terrible? Do I really want to do this? And that really sucks because, like I said, this one's good. And I don't know if it's going to get, it's supposed to be the beginning of something new that they're doing. And I don't know that they're going to carry that forward. In fact, it's been so crazy. There's been all these rumors, which are not true, but there's been all these rumors that Pedro Pascal got fired and kicked out of everything and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. That did not happen. But that's what's going on, is the rumors I think that there's a definite superhero fatigue. I think that people have reached a point where they are actually deliberately rooting against these movies now. I
I
saw,
think some people are. I would have to agree with that.
yeah, I think so. I saw some pictures came out for the new Spider-Man. They didn't really show a full trailer yet, but they showed a little bit. And there's a movement online to try to basically cancel Tom Holland because they said he's gained weight. He's
Oh my
fat now.
God.
That's the big thing. They're all going around saying he's fat now. And he's not. But they're like, there's something going on where people are just, they're making up their own stuff now because they're not on board. People are not on board with these movies, and it's very strange to me. I've thought for a long time that they had way too many superhero movies, and I think that's definitely been the case. And what I think the side effect, the ultimate outcome of all this has been that the public has gotten bored with these movies and doesn't want to give these movies a chance and is inventing narratives now because they're trying to entertain themselves and use these movies for something else. You know, Fantastic Four got trashed by a lot of people that never saw it. I guarantee you they didn't see it. Yeah. Because if you watch this movie, I dare you to tell me it's not a good movie. Because I thoroughly enjoyed it. My brother thoroughly enjoyed it. It has a certain spirit to it, which if you enjoy comic book storytelling that's set in periods, set in certain, like Batman the Animated Series, or, you know, Batman 1989, or things like that, I think you'll eat this movie up because it really, it's like, it's scratching an itch I didn't know I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's not the best. If I was to give it a score, I would give it probably an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And very enjoyable. And the 3D is pretty good, but it's not like crazy. It's fine. So you don't have to watch it in 3D. Don't worry about that. But it's cool if you do watch it that way. But yeah, I just wanted to, I guess I'm ranting a little bit about this because I really do think it sucks that people, including myself, didn't really give this movie much of a chance because I had no real expectations. I went into this being like, well, I just want to have fun. Like Superman. I was like, okay, let me have fun. And I was very surprised how good the movie turned out to be. And Manon, who's like a big science guy, he was like, you know, they do a bunch of science stuff, and he was like, cool. He wasn't like, oh, yeah. You know, sometimes, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, so, I know what you mean.
So it was fun. It was a very good movie, very well made, well directed, cinematography, special effects looked fantastic, which by the way, I saw some behind the scenes stuff. This is not going to ruin anything, but there's way more practical stuff in that movie than you think.
Really?
And yeah. And I was very surprised. So after you watch the movie, try to watch some of that and you'll be surprised about some things. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say any more than that, but it's good. It's a good movie.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah, I was hoping to go see it. I've kind of run out of time. Those of you who don't know, I work in education and school literally starts tomorrow. So this last week has been pretty hectic trying to get the boys ready to go to school. And then my wife and I getting our stuff ready for, you know, getting back into school and everything. So yeah, it's been kind of hectic. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I don't know, maybe I'll try to squeeze in try to go watch it or whatever. I would try to go this weekend, but I'm already going to be spending 8 hours playing a board game on Saturday. So.
Oh, wow. 8 hours. What are you doing?
All right. So I got to tell you about this. So my buddy Travis, who you met during that interview we did with him, he likes to play board games. He does like to play board games. There's this one board game in particular that he's been trying. He got me to go in and play once. It's called it's TI4. It's the 4th edition. It's Oh crap! I'm gonna have to look this up here in a second. But anyway, if you know the game, you know what I'm referring to as TI4, and it's like it's a resource management. Like there is battle and stuff to it, and there's all you basically are picking a race of alien, and you're the first one to score so many points wins. Well, there's so many things that you can do during your turn, and you really have to be focused on what's going on. There's a bunch of research. So like literally last week I get on this chat message with him and the other two guys that are going to be playing, and like it's like, okay, well here's your groups that you can pick from, and so I had to do research on even what group I'm going to pick, and then later on this week, as I have time, I've got to refresh myself on how to play this game, and yeah, we're going to get started at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. I've got to drive to Austin for this, but yeah, we're going to get started at 8 a.m. Of course, we'll have a lunch break, and then we'll continue to play this game. But and I will say it was a lot of fun, and I did actually win my first time playing it. I did manage to win. I just happened to cobble together the correct way to score, like the maximum amount of points you can score in like one round is like 4, and I happened to manage to do it anyway. But yeah, I'm going to go play TI4 here on Saturday, so that pretty much shoots my whole weekend. Don't think I can sneak out of the house the rest of the weekend to go even watch a movie. So I don't think it's going to happen this weekend. We'll see. Maybe next weekend, but we'll get there. So real quick to finish up our wrap up on this, just to look at the scores. Yeah, like I said, if there's not really any movement, this is pretty much the final scoring. I cannot believe I'm in at number 3 with 45 points. Yeah, I really didn't think I was going to make the top 5, because generally when you score high in the beginning of the game, you don't end up there. So Pat's at number 1, Sean at number 2, I'm at number 3, Tex-Mex at 4, Ray at 5, Travis, who we were just talking about, at 6, Mike P at 7, Josh and Chris are tied at 8, and then Johnny down there at number 10. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting game.
It's too bad you didn't take like screenshots of each of these, and you could do like a time lapse to show the movement. You know,
how they all move and everything. Yeah, I know, right? Maybe I have to start doing that. Keep that in mind for next year when I do this. So, but anyway, so that's our wrap up for the summer movie game. So before we move on to our first story, so like I said, this is one of the ones I came across. I was trying to find something of interest. This was the first one that I found, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to need some help on this one, because what it sounds like, and it sounds like some people are taking that way, is pretty apocalyptic. And I don't know, maybe I'm blowing that out of proportion, but we're going to find out here. So our first story is PlayStation confirms it's moving away from hardware. And so when I first read that, I was like, okay, what does that mean exactly? And it you know what? I'm turning it over to you. Treat me like I have no idea what astral projection or telekinesis, and just tell me what the hell's going on.
I have a unique point of view on this, because of some decisions that I've made recently about some things.
Yes.
Basically, out of nowhere, this is the problem. It's like the Joker said, as long as people know what the plan is, they don't freak out. But if they don't know what the plan is and you surprise them with something, they will lose their minds. And that's true. And that's what this is, especially the Sony fans, because there's, okay, I've been accused, rightly so, of being a pony many times. Because I love Sony stuff. I'm a big fan of the PlayStation brand and a lot of most of everything they've made, but Sony fans were not ready to hear this. And so they had this meeting, one of these investor meetings and stuff. And in the course of the investor meeting, it's like casually mentioned, oh yeah, we're moving away from hardware, and we're really spreading ourselves out on other things, and we're really going to leave the hardware-centric business model behind. And we've already been working on that, and that's been the plan. We just didn't really say nothing to nobody. Now, this comes on the back of moves that Sony's made the past couple of years of bringing some of their big games to other things. You know, God of War, the Uncharted stuff, the different big games, AAA games that Sony has. They started to put these things on other things, and people have been fans have been a little bit like, okay, I guess that's good, right? That these exclusives are on other stuff. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then here comes the Xbox stuff to PlayStation, and the PlayStation fans are like, well, that's also good, right? Because then we can play those games too, and that's a good thing, right? And they're like, yeah, man, Sony wins. And then the announcement is made during the same press conference that Helldivers 2 is going to be on Xbox. And that's probably the biggest shock, believe it or not, of everything. Because Sony fans, okay, all this stuff, it's like, what does that really mean? And, you know, whatever. But the game hasn't come out. Helldivers 2 hasn't come out yet. And it's being announced. It's going to be on Xbox. And then there's all these like clues or hints that maybe there's more to the Xbox version of regular Helldivers, I guess, that's going to come out on Xbox. They're going to do some kind of crossover thing with the Halo. I don't know. There's a lot of rumors. Ask Lou, he'll tell you. So Sony fans are like, what the F, bro? Like, we're cool with, you know, getting more stuff and putting our stuff on PC. We're cool with that. But you're going to put our brand new games not even out yet on Xbox when the general opinion, especially among Sony people, is that Xbox is basically a graveyard at this point. It's like, and I've used this term before, ask Lou, in its death throes, you know, basically on its way out. And that may not be true at all, because there's now a bunch of rumors about new Xboxes that might be coming out and what that might actually be and what that might mean. There's a lot to that. But back to the Sony thing for a second. Things are kind of weird in Sony land, because it looks like, I mean, there's a PS5 Pro out right now. We know PlayStation 6 is coming down the road. But when Sony says things like, we're moving away from hardware-centric business model, this is very concerning for Sony fans, because a huge amount of the identity of Sony fans is based around the idea of owning a PlayStation console.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of legacy fanboys. And when I say that, what I'm referring to is the idea of what a console is a lot different now than what it used to be. But not everybody is on board with that. You know, a lot of people still think that we have consoles that are just these, you know, the console itself is PlayStation, and that's the platform, and you buy your games and you collect and you put them on the shelf and you have all your stuff, and there's a very different model out there, and it's honestly, consoles are already not consoles anymore. There's already been a huge change. They're not really like, you know, like one of these things. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really. Oh crap! I just screwed up. Sorry, hang on.
You're all good.
Is my mic okay? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So, yeah, people are freaking out about it. I'm not freaking out about it, really. What's up, Bassarino? How you doing, man?
Oh, hey, man, what's up?
There. I'm not really freaking out about it, because on my channel I announced, was it last week, I guess? That
you announced it on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
2 days ago. 2 days ago. Man, you already, it's been a week.
It seems like it's been a long time. I don't know. Time is weird for me right now. But anyway, what I'm saying is I announced, like, I'm actually giving my daughter my PlayStation 5. I already got it all boxed up and everything. I told her she'd come get it whenever she wants, but she's going to wait till the weekend because of her birthday and everything. I replaced it with my PlayStation 3 Slim sitting right there. So, I'm not giving up on my PlayStation experiences. It's just that I don't play the PS5. I wasn't playing it. Anything on it that I would play, I would probably rather play on my PC, which is a weird thing to say. But, you know, honestly, these consoles are more like, and are becoming more and more like PCs anyway. And in fact, like I was alluding to earlier with the Xbox, that's their whole plan, is they're going to turn Xbox into another part of Windows, basically. And the new Xboxes, this is what's being talked about. The new Xboxes that are going to come out are just going to be PCs that have Windows on them that you can also play your Xbox games on. And I suspect we're going to be able to play our Xbox games on regular PCs as well at some point. Like, they're really going to merge these things, which is something they've talked about forever. But yeah, so the idea of a console, I mean, it's really gone anyway. If you go to the stores, they're getting rid of every physical aspect of gaming. You know, it's what we think of as the old days of consoles, and that experience is pretty much gone already. So lots of change happening for me and for the whole industry and for Sony.
Yep. Couple of quick things. Bassarino had said, I was interested in seeing Naked Gun, but no earlier showings. Dude, I totally get that, man. Like, I can't tell you how many times I want to go watch a movie, and it's like, we have one showing of this movie today at like 9 p.m. And I'm just like, nope. He said, I thought the console was a monolith. Yeah, pretty much. PlayStation owners selling their PlayStation.
I'm not selling my PlayStation. I'm giving it to my daughter. Yeah.
Yes. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where my confusion came in. Here's why I was scratching my head, because, and you've already kind of addressed it, is they've said all this stuff, and all of this made sense except for the thing that I heard that you'd already mentioned was, well, we know we're getting a PlayStation 6. I'm like, then why are we doing a new console if we're moving away from hardware like that? Like, to me, that's just like a red flag. Even if I was a Sony fanboy, I'd be like,
phony.
I almost said phony. Yes. If I was a Sony fanboy, I'd be like, wait, you're not going to like fucking sell me $1,000 console and then like 3 months later be like, oops, nope, we're not supporting it anymore. You can just go and buy all of our games, on PC or whatever. Yeah, like it makes okay. The part of it makes sense. Obviously, Microsoft. We had a huge conversation about this last week about Microsoft having their games on Sony. You could play what was it? 6 of the number one selling games technically were produced by Microsoft, even though technically it was like Activision and everything else. It was companies that they've acquired. But it's like, hey, yeah, we spread this out and everyone can enjoy it, and we're figuring out, hey, maybe we make money this way. I mean, there's been tons of companies that figured that out as well. I mean, Sega, probably, as much as I did like the Sega consoles, probably the smartest thing they ever did was give up hardware and just be like, yeah, we're just gonna put our games out and everyone can buy them and play them on whatever they want to play them on. But yeah, this was like, okay, if they're going to go down that route, why are you making a PlayStation 6? Like, that just, I'm not a modern gamer anyway. We've had this conversation, I'm kind of getting back into gaming, and it's definitely on the retro side. But that being said, I'm like, if I were a modern console gamer, I'm still not happy about the fact that, and I'm sure this is old school thinking, back when the Nintendo lasted 8 years. But like, the idea that like, oh, here's the PlayStation 5. Well, here's the slim version. Now here's the pro version. Now and I'm just like, it's not Street Fighter, guys. Like, come on, like, either take the next step up or like support what's out there. Cause if you keep coming out with a new version of it every 6 months, it'd be one thing if it was like a PC where it's like, oh, I'm just changing out the CPU, I'm just changing out the video card. But it's like, no, I've got to buy a brand new system. Hopefully it's backwards compatible. Well, in this case, being an upgrade, it would be backwards compatible. But it's just like, man, like that is a huge chunk to take on. And to think if this next system, depending on how much it's going to be, and this idea that, well, we may not be supporting it more than 3 or 4 years, that's That's a big ask. That's a huge ask for people. Pastorino said,
Well,
I think the industry is apprehensive about having enough devices.
I don't know about that, because they seem to be more than happy to have people play everything through streaming or whatever. It's like, you talk about, there's a lot to talk about here. I'm sorry.
No, that's why we're here to talk.
Yeah. So let me say this. It's wild to think about Sony pulling out of the console business. It's so wild because Sony's won this generation from a sales point of view and support point of view. If you know, of course, Nintendo is really the one who's won, but you know, as far as like upper echelon hardware on consoles, right?
Right.
Sony easily defeated the Xbox. It wasn't even, there never was, it wasn't even ever competitive between them. Like the 360 PS3 was very competitive. After that it hasn't been competitive. But I would say the Series console has done worse than the Xbox One did against the PS4. It's not been good for Xbox. So for Xbox to be talking about tons of new hardware, even though they have openly said for a while now that they're getting away from the hardware business model and moving to, I mean, their whole thing was everything's an Xbox. That was literally their slogan, right? And they're trying to mix Xbox into Windows. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on here, guys. Like, there's a lot of apprehension. Basserino is correct. There's a lot of apprehension for a lot of reasons, because Xbox, their messaging makes no sense. It's been infuriatingly like convoluted to the point to where nobody even understands, and they don't understand what they're doing. But it's way worse than that, because it's not, you think PC might be the stronghold, the bastion of stability. But this is the year that Windows 10 loses support. This is the year that Microsoft has refused repeatedly to do away with their ridiculous requirements for Windows 11 that are going to literally flood the market with useless hardware that cannot support Windows 11. And the question is, how's that going to affect PC gaming? Because is PC gaming going to be able to figure out a way for people to continue to use hardware that's not supported by Windows 11? Or is this going to force everyone, not just businesses, which the businesses is the big thing, but businesses and gamers into a situation where they have to upgrade and they have hardware they can't even sell because it's not going to be supported? There's a lot of apprehension about what's going on right now. And for Microsoft to try to seed in some hope, I guess, by saying, oh, Xbox will be part of Windows and blah, blah, blah. This is like trying to soften this unnecessary, ridiculous situation that Microsoft has created for all of gaming, you know, because yeah, all the console companies and now Sony are talking about trying to get away from hardware centric stuff. And Microsoft is trying to get away from, they're trying to force people to unnecessarily scrap perfectly fine hardware. And at a time when hardware replacement is at the most expensive that it's ever been. I mean, not ever. There was once upon a time when you buy a PC, it was like $3,000. You know, but we're not talking about that. People don't remember all that. That was a long time ago. But in modern times, it's, you know, we've got tariffs out the ass. We've got companies that are closing down or freaking out or trying to recoup different expenses. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. There's a lot. I mean, it's all up in the air. And you got manufacturers like AMD and Nvidia that are caught up in their own controversies that, you know, Intel might be in financial trouble. Intel. Okay. Yep. It's a weird time, man. It's a weird time. Now,
yes, it is.
last thing I want to say about all that, going back to Sony, yeah, Sony has said in a very surprising way that they're moving away from hardware. But yes, you're right, Eugene. They are going to bring out a PlayStation 6, and they are going to support the PlayStation 6. Now, Sony might abandon their Vita right away, and they might abandon PSVR right away, and they might abandon PlayStation TV right away. And
oh my God, I forgot about all that.
The PlayStation Classic right away, and like I could go on. They might be really, really shitty about abandoning stuff right away, but their bread and butter has been their console, their base console, and they supported the PlayStation 3 for like a decade, actually longer than that. They supported the PlayStation 4. They're still supporting the PlayStation 4. They're still supporting it. There's still games coming out for PS4. PS5 will continue to have support for, I don't know, who knows. And yes, the PlayStation 6 will be supported by Sony. Now, they're going to put stuff on PC. They're going to put stuff in the cloud, and they're going to do all this weird stuff. They might even put stuff on Nintendo's consoles. That could happen. Okay. But are they going to support the PlayStation? Yes, absolutely. Because they make way too much money. And it's a brand people like. So they're going to buy it. They may not 100% trust Sony, but they like the brand. It's a popular brand. You know, it's like the Jordans of video game hardware. You know, people might be like, these shoes aren't really the best and they're a little bit too much, but they're popular. You know, it's the same thing with the PlayStation. The hardware will be around for a long time. So don't worry too much about that.
Fair enough. Pastorino said the sales aren't strong. Yeah, I know relatives that will just buy the Xbox because it's the Xbox and they feel comfortable in that. And I get that. I totally get that. That goes back to, you know, and I've done that before. I hate to admit it, but there are things that I'm just like, no, I know this is probably a little more expensive than what it is, but I know this brand. I know roughly the quality I'm going to get on something. You know, and brand loyalty is a huge thing. I mean, any company will tell you like that. You know, the ones that, you know, F around and find out real quick. Oh, if you screw your brand loyalty, you may never recover from that. I mean, there's so many like freaking you know, Tesla was like the go-to car company, and then you know Elon Musk has done a bunch of stuff, and not even, and that's what's sad, it's not even with the cars, it's just all the political stuff he went down. Whether you are a supporter of the current administration or not, he should have never done that. The board should have kicked him off as soon as he's like, I want to get into politics, because it's like you're going to split your fan base half, you know, no matter which way you go.
The responsible thing would have been for him to, before he ever entered politics, leave that company.
Absolutely.
Like, Absolutely. Make that would have been the responsible thing. But this guy, anyway, never mind.
Yeah, that's a whole other stuff. But anyway, yeah, like, and I get the whole thing with Xbox. I when it comes, if you're going to hand me a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller, I'm going with the Xbox controller. I like the way it feels. I like the way it plays better. I don't have any. That's honest, but in all honesty, because I every so often I have people come ask me, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting my kid an Xbox or a PlayStation," and there are a few questions. I'm like, "Well, which controller do they like better?" That's my number one question.
Do you have one of the newer ones?
Yes.
Okay, so you have the new D-pad on yours.
Yeah.
So it's clicky. It's like more like it's supposed to be. It's the best D-pad they've ever had on an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
I really like that controller. I like the way it feels. And I've just always been that way. It's something, what it is, and I actually have one here. What it boils down to is when I'm playing a modern game, something or another, I know it doesn't make sense, but the joystick should be up here, not down here.
It feels better.
It just feels better to me. Now, granted, having it down here on this other hand, it feels perfectly fine. But anyway, and yet, whenever I'm playing old school games and I'm mainly using a D-pad, that's why I bought these guys, because I'm not using the joysticks all the time. I'm using the D-pad to play, you know, retro games, and that's where I want it. The position makes a difference to me. And like I said, the PlayStation, I never did like it when they went down, like going all the way back to the DualShock. I was like, I don't like this.
Well, you know, like even the Switch one, they put it up there because they know
exactly,
it was better. The DualShock 4 I really like. DualShock 5 never really felt right to me. Or what do they call it? DualSense controller. Oh, bougie name. But
I know, right?
but the DualShock 4 for PS4 is it's just shaped better. Would I still prefer the stick up instead of down with the other two? I might, but the shape of the controller makes it more comfortable. It's a really comfortable controller. But no,
Yeah.
I think this one. I mean, if that D-pad was like, like that, it would be perfect. That'd be like the perfect controller. But that's a better D-pad than we've ever had. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame what has happened with Xbox. Bassarino was talking about people just know Xbox and they're used to that. Unfortunately, a lot of people, that's true, but in a negative sense. A lot of people, it's been a long time since Xbox has been viewed the way it hasn't been. I remember when I was listening to some speech Obama was given and he was talking about video games, and he actually didn't say the word video games to refer to video games, like all of gaming. He referred to gaming as Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Are you kids playing Xbox?" And it was like, that's how big Xbox was and trusted. And, yeah, they had the red ring, but they made it right. They gave everybody free repairs and upgrades, and, they spent $1 billion or whatever to try to fix that problem. And people were like, okay, man, this is a stable, good platform. The games were better on Xbox 360 for the most part. We loved it. It was great. It was a cheaper system. It was just a better way to go for a lot of reasons. But it's been a long time, man. And so a lot of people don't have that view of Xbox. A lot of people, they even hear the word Xbox and they're like, ugh, because they've lost so much trust. And it's not for no reason. These people have screwed over their own fan base time and time again. And we recently talked about the layoffs and canceling the games and the weird messaging and the management that doesn't seem to have any idea what they're actually trying to do. It's a bizarre time. So for Sony to say this now, to me, it's like a very calculated thing for them to say this now, because they're like, we need to make sure the public knows. We don't want people freaking out when we make other choices and decisions for what we're doing. And we know if we say it now, there's not a threat out there to us. There's nobody like waiting to pounce if we do something that, the public's not going to lose. They might, they got upset, but they're not going to lose their shit and turn on Sony forever for something like this right now. Because what are your options? Okay, you're going to get a Switch too? You can, but that's just beginning. We really don't even know what that system's going to be. We know that there are some cool stuff on it, but there's also some not cool stuff on it in a lot of different ways. And Xbox is just this listless ship it's a ghost ship. We don't know what's happening with Xbox. There are still some Xbox fans out there who still believe that everything's perfect and going great and it's a wonderful experience and everything's awesome. And that might be the more like the people you're talking about, Bassarino, who they just don't see the negative. They don't see what's going on because they made their choice. That's their, make gaming great again with their green hats.
Lord.
I'm just saying. I should shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Okay. Well, let me pose this idea. Let's say it happens next decade. PlayStation 6 comes out, and they're like, you know what? We're making as much money, if not more money now on PC sales and games on Xbox and even play games on Switch. We'll throw it out there just as a wild thing out there. We're making it doesn't make sense for us to continue to make consoles. We'll continue to support them for the next however long, but this is it. PlayStation 6, that's the end of the road. Do you see someone stepping in, or because at that point it's just Microsoft? First
of all,
Nintendo will always be around, but
Yeah. First of all,
No one's
since you
battling Nintendo. Like Nintendo's off in their own world doing their own thing.
right. Well, since you're saying this and I'm having some time to think about it as I'm talking as well, it's good because I'm really not sure I believe Sony when they say that they're leaving hardware behind or they're whatever they're, however they worded this. I think maybe some of what they're saying is calculated to appeal to the investors who are looking for Sony to expand into other things. Mm-hmm. I'm really not sure I'm convinced that Sony's going to follow through with that in a full way. I like the PlayStation 6 is definitely going to happen and they are definitely going to support it and it's definitely going to do well. Is Sony gonna then never have another PlayStation? I don't think that. I can't see that happening. I think
what would have to happen between now and
right.
then, you know?
Yeah.
I was just throwing it out there as a hypothesis.
Now, is Microsoft going to always make Xboxes? No, they're going to stop making Xboxes. But what they're going to do is they're going to transform Xbox into a part of Windows. So Xbox will just be there forever, but it won't be like it is with those consoles. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be like that. It's already not like that. You know, I'll give you another example of something. So a while back, they did a remake of the first Gears of War game, Gears of War Ultimate Edition. And I bought it on Xbox One when it came out. And I got it for free on PC because I bought it on Xbox One. And recently, they are remaking it again. It actually comes out later this month. It's called Gears of War Reloaded. Okay, it's the very first Gears of War with even more enhancements, completely remade from the ground up. And it's coming to Xbox consoles and PC. And they gave it to me for free because I bought the last one. And they gave me the PC version, which I've already got preloaded. I just can't play it yet on my PC. The newer stuff that they're bringing out is like that. It's been like that for a long time. You buy it on Xbox, you get it on PC. A lot of stuff. But, you know, Microsoft doesn't really want to sell games anyway. They want to do their Game Pass thing. And that's the big reason that they're trying to integrate the Xbox thing into the Windows thing so they can get Game Pass functional the way it is on console on PC. Because it sucks on PC right now. But once they get this done, that's the goal. That's really their goal. So anyway, I'm kind of all over the place like Microsoft is, you know, talking about what Microsoft is doing. But yeah, they've been working in this direction for a long time. Sony just now said something about it. This is like the first time they've really said something about it. Yeah, they've released some games on PC and some stuff like that. But this is the first time Sony's actually said like, hey guys, we're moving away from that. Microsoft's been saying this for 10 years. So Microsoft's definitely going to be, you know, there'll be Xboxes that come out probably for a while, but they're not going to be like this. They're going to be like, they're going to be PCs that run Xbox games. It's going to be a different world for Xbox. You know, this new handheld that they have, it's not even made by Microsoft. It plays some Windows stuff, Windows games, and then they say it plays Xbox games, but it doesn't. It plays it streams Xbox games. It streams them. So I had a friend of mine talk about wanting to buy this thing, and it's going to be like $1,000 for this handheld.
Damn.
Yeah, it's going to be insanely expensive. And I'm like, why do you want this? And he's like, oh, it'll play on my Xbox games and stuff. I'm like, it won't. No, you can, but it's going to be like streaming. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't even need this for that. You can literally stream to. There's like a dozen handhelds out there that will stream Xbox games the same as this will. Mm-hmm. It's a weird time. I don't know. I'm going on about it, but yeah, it's a weird time.
Yeah, and I almost wondered if this was they don't want to necessarily say it. They're maybe hoping this is just going to kind of blow over, and not just flat out say, yeah, we misspoke. Because if that's the case, if they're just trying to get people prepared for a hey, we're going to be putting more and more of our stuff out there on other consoles. We're not going to, keep it behind just on the Sony Play. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. Maybe that was the wrong way to put it. Luke's Awakening.
Yeah, I was actually talking about Luke.
So talk to me. Fair enough.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
But yeah, like I don't know, man. Like I said, it confused me. I'm like, how do you announce a new console, or you're working on a new console, and then you're like, we're moving away from hardware. I'm like, those two don't jive. So
it's confusing, and
yeah,
but as confused as some of the Sony people are today, this has been the normal for Microsoft for a long time. There's utter confusion in the marketplace, you know. And look, Nintendo has sold a lot of Switch 2s. Okay, a lot.
Yeah,
it's selling very well, regardless of what some people might say. It is selling very well, but there is some problems that they're trying to figure out, because I think they're still in the figure out phase of what's going on with Switch 2. There's definitely some issues people are having with Nintendo's business practices. They're, raising the prices of original Switch stuff, and the games there's so many games that are being released that aren't actual cartridges. They're these game key card things. And
yes,
it's a confusing time for everybody, for the whole industry. It's very confusing.
Luke's Awakening. I don't want to play Xbox games. I want a PC in that form factor. I have Series X, so I don't need the ROG Ally for that.
Yeah, that's the name of the ROG. I thought it was Ally, but
Ally. Okay,
maybe that's what it is. Ally.
See, here's the one thing that I think I understand, that the move to be able to, like, hey, we're just going to make it a PC or whatever. And yeah, the form factor thing is a big thing. Like most, I don't want to sound a certain way this way, but the spouse factor is a lot easier to coax. It's a box about this big, and I can hide it behind the TV, and I can play games on it from time to time. Is a lot easier to sell than, well, here's my new PC I'm putting up here by the TV. That's not going to fly in a lot of households.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I mean, yes, I know there are things they could probably do on the Xbox that could get out and do stuff, but for the most part, parents buy a console and feel pretty safe that you play games on this thing. Like, you're not going to do all the other scary stuff that you can do with a PC. So I do think moving away from that could really bite them in the ass, and could be something that, if Nintendo would freaking lower their damn prices and go back to doing, a few smart things here and there, they'd be, sitting pretty, because then parents are like, oh, Nintendo's safe. I grew up with Nintendo. It's a console. I know it can get online, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you play games on this thing. I know it's safe. My kids can play it. I trust it. And the closer you get to a PC, it's like, oh, hey, it's actually a PC, and you can surf the internet and watch porn and all this. And it's like, no, I'm not buying that for my kid. Where's the Nintendo that I can trust? So, yeah,
well,
we'll see.
Nintendo's smart. They know what they're doing. They obviously know what they're doing. And their product is so different from a PC that there's not any confusion about that. And you're right. There could be, honestly, I've always honestly tried to not get into the PC versus console stuff because of things that happened. Let's just say
back in the dark times.
Yes. Before the Empire.
Yes.
There were some things that went on where I was not comfortable. The thing that PC fans, I tend to refer to them as PC master racers, but they're not all master racers, because I think there's a certain connotation that comes when you start throwing terms like that around. And I don't want to be too inflammatory by saying what I'm going to say. But I've always thought these are completely different markets. Like the PC market, the reason that consoleized PCs, whether you call them Steam boxes or whatever, the reason they've always struggled to do well is because there's a very different type of person that plays games at a desk versus in the living room.
I have the perfect example. Before I go on to this real quick, Luke's Awakening. For me, I'd love to play some PC games, but capital but I don't want to do it at a computer desk, something like that. I can use to play those PC games from the comfort of my couch. Dude, I totally get that.
Luke, you were reading my thoughts. I didn't see that you had said that. Yes, that's
super duper retro master. The reason why I'm pointing at my door. I literally have both. I have what you're talking about at the other side of my house. In one room, I have Alexander, who has saved up his money. He has a decent PC gaming rig. And what does he do? He plays his games. He likes playing his games, but he also likes tweaking his games. Oh, I've got to get a few more frames. Those are PC gamers. And like you were saying, a PC in a box and a console, you don't get that. It's like, nope, here's what it does, and this is what it does. And yeah, you could maybe jailbreak it and do some other stuff, but for the most part, this is what it does. And then you have Nicholas, who's in the next room, playing his Xbox Series S, and is like, no, I turn on the game and I want it to go. Right. Period. Like that's all. As long as it plays well and looks decent, that's all I care about. And you're right. The problem with trying to get the one to mix with the other is you're going to have those people that are going to want to go in and tweak and play with and all this other stuff. And you're going to have the other people who I'm now becoming. That's why I'm still haven't got this PC up and running to play some of these retro games, because I'm like, I don't want to tweak this. I just want to load the game, load the binds for the controller the way they're supposed to, and just let me play the game. I don't want to have to go in there and futz around with, I've got to assign it to this, that. Just let me play the game.
You are 6 months away from owning a CRT TV. I'm just saying. I see it coming.
My wife would kill me.
You could get a small one and put it in the office. And anyway, never mind. I'll shut up.
No, I'm not doing that.
So, okay. Luke's got some more.
See, the whole rig thing doesn't matter to me. I just want to be able to access the Steam library, GOG, and Epic Games. I don't want to tweak anything. Just want it already optimized. Dude, I get it. I get it. And what's funny is I was that other person. Like, I was that person that was like, I had the last real PC I had that was for gaming. Like, I had the video card, the CPU, and the RAM all overclocked. I had 2 or 3 hard drives in there that were rated just so that like I could load into the first Call of Duty 1, load in like a half second more, faster than anyone else. I don't give a crap about that anymore. I just don't want it to lag.
Base brings up, he says, I don't know, you guys talking about futzing. I turn the thing on and just play. If the game is crap, I move on to the next until it improves. That's not the typical PC gamer. That's just not.
Yeah.
In fact, dude, what you just said, Eugene, years ago, I used to be a big time PC gamer. Years ago. And I would always be tinkering with it. Yeah, Luke, I can't even tell. Yeah, I got you.
I'm the same way sometimes. Like, literally, I was watching YouTube in the living room one day, and the boys came in and they're like, Dad, this looks like crap. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, what is this set at? And I looked at it. I'm like, it's set to 17.
Well, to be fair,
come on, seriously.
To be fair, Eugene, you also have your TV set to soap opera mode.
Okay,
and
that was a long time ago, and that was because of the wife.
It looked like horror. We watched G.I. Joe, which the second movie, I guess. I was sitting on your couch.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't, because you permanently scarred my brain. Because I'm sitting on his couch and that G.I. Joe movie's on. I'm watching Ray Stevenson, and I'm like, something's very wrong. And Mannon looks at me and he's like, because it's got that stupid smooth motion soap opera mode going. It looked like it was shot with a camcorder.
Yeah, I know, right?
And Eugene, we were like, Eugene, what's wrong with this? And you're like, what are you talking about? You're like, oh, looks fine to me.
Because I had to watch it day in and day out. I got used to it.
No, I understand. You were in enemy territory and you had to be careful. I got you. Don't worry about it. We're good.
Luke's Awakening. They make many PCs, I know, but something like a Steam Deck or offers flexibility, play dock or on the go. A mini PC doesn't. That's true. So
that is true. I mean, they wouldn't make these things if there wasn't.
There's obviously
an audience for them.
So.
I get I get the appeal that you're talking about. You know, that's one of the reasons I got a Switch. I think a lot of us got a Switch because the idea of being able to play different ways and all that, it's definitely appealing.
And you and I have had this conversation. How do you 90% of the time when you play your Switch, how do you play it?
I'd never play handheld ever.
Neither do I.
Ever.
Nope.
I would have bought a Switch that didn't switch. I would have bought one that was just a console. I would have.
Honestly, I would have too. I probably would have bought this one and then been like, I don't let the boys can play with this one. I'll just have the console version that hooks up. So,
but it is cool to have that option. And you know, I got the OLED one, and I got to tell you, the few times that I have played it in handheld mode, oh, it's nice. It's very nice. And maybe that's another thing that kind of keeps me from being interested in a Switch 2, because I have the OLED one, and you know, Switch 2's screen is not as good. It's better in some ways with the refresh rate and everything, but it's not an OLED, and that one looks great if I was to play that way, which I don't anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
sometimes when Luke's Awakening, sometimes when I play, sometimes when my wife is watching TV, I can pop up my Switch on a small table and play Still Together. I love it for that reason. You know what? And I had originally, that was one of the reasons I originally bought it, because I was like, okay, I can have this thing in handheld mode. I can still be in the living room with my wife. She can be watching the TV. I can be playing games. And it just never panned out that way.
it's a good idea.
It's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
I mean, I remember when the Wii U came out, and I was still married, and that was a thought that I had as well. Also didn't work out that way, but
I know,
it's a good idea. But Luke's got that working out because, you know, his situation, it works out really well that way. Obviously it's a selling point, obviously.
Yeah.
And having a PC that functions that same way, where you can be in the living room hanging out with your wife while she watches something, and you kind of half side eye whatever's going on TV, but you're also playing the PC. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Luke, how dare you? How dare you, sir? I can assure you that was not part of the equation.
That was not the reason.
I can assure you that.
Fair enough. All right. Well, tell you what, we're almost an hour in, so we're going to switch over to our other topic real quick. This one, I've been so busy the last few days. Pardon me, getting ready for work, I've been doing a bunch of stuff in my office. I don't know if you noticed, like I've got a different bookshelf over here. I've done a bunch of other stuff. I'm still working on a bunch of stuff, but I've been really, really busy over the last 4 or 5 days. And I was literally like, man, what am I going to put as another story? What am I going to put as another story? And my partner at work just posted it on a chat. He posted this. Let me switch it over here real quick. There we go. Let me get that off of there. And it's the end of an era. The AOL to end dial-up internet access. All right. The reason I put this on here is because even though this does not affect either one of us, this leads to a lot of questions, and B, a lot of memories. Did you ever use AOL dial-up? I used dial-up, of course, but I don't think I ever used AOL.
I did try it when we first got these floppy disks. I didn't ever use, we used the CDs to like Frisbees or so whatever when they would do that. But these, I remember using it, trying it, not liking it at all, and never going back and trying it, and then using the disc for other stuff like copying over the disc. But
dial-up still existed. Yeah, Luke, that's the first thing that I guarantee everyone who sees this article said was, I didn't know that was still a thing.
Well, see, the funny thing about dial-up is it's like you have to have a landline, and who even has a landline anymore? But that's the thing, is the reason dial-up has still existed is because there are some places that are remote that are, it's been necessary. Now, has AOL been part of that? No, probably not.
Not.
Maybe, but no. Who's used AOL in 20 years, you know? I don't know.
And see, I wonder if things, I'm sure things like Starlink and just like, a lot of what's crazy is like, if you're not streaming anything really, like some of these satellite services are not bad. Like if you're just surfing
Yeah.
the internet, which that's what you'd be doing with AOL dial up, you're not going to be, you're not going to be streaming anything. I'm sure it works just fine. But, I'm sure they were like, yeah, you can get Starlink and actually be able to watch stuff and everything. Like, yeah. It would be
Yeah.
interesting. I would love for them, and they didn't do it in this article. I would love for them to have found someone who still used it and been like, "Why?" like,
yeah, I'm like, what is AOL anyway? Like, I know what it was back in the late '90s and early 2000s, but what it's if it's still been around, what the hell has it even been?
Yeah, because I remember it was like a walled garden. It was like
Yeah.
It was like the sanitized version of the internet. Also, Luke's Awakening said AOL was always too expensive. Yeah, it was. Because when I did dial up, we found a local company, in the area where I lived, and because there were all these little companies that just popped up out of nowhere that offered internet, dial up internet or whatever, and then whenever cable internet came, they kind of wiped most of them out and. So, but yeah, I remember those days.
You just reminded me of something. When I first moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there was a girl that I very briefly dated, and she had AOL. And she was having problems with her computer, and I went over to help with the computer. And she had AOL, and I was like, why are you using this and not just using the internet? And she was like, this is the internet. And I was like, oh.
Ooh.
And I couldn't get through to her. This was like 90, maybe late 97, early 98 in that time period.
No, because 97, 98, you were living here.
Well, it was when I first moved up here. So whenever that was, when it must have been 98, like some point in 98.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The time period is
fuzzy.
Who knows? But anyway, yeah. So I didn't actually help her with the computer very much for a couple of reasons, but the main reason that I was like, I don't know anything about AOL. Like,
yeah.
Like if you want to use that, fine, but I couldn't. So I told her, I don't know what to tell you. I can't.
Yeah. I only ever messed with it a couple of times. So something else that when I hear AOL that my partner even brought up was like, every so often, like once in a blue moon, I still see an AOL email address. And it's not that way anymore. But were you ever in a point in your life, and I have to admit, I was one of these people that judged you by your email? Like if you were like, if you were
Yes.
Gmail, you were cool. If you were using Yahoo, you were probably a little behind the times. If you had AOL, it's like, whoa, grandma, what's going on? Like,
yeah, you could have Hotmail. People be like, cool, no problem, whatever.
Yeah.
All these other ones, but AOL was weird. Yeah. You've got mail. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's. By the way, I love that movie. I know it's a romantic comedy. I love that movie.
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan was so cute in that movie.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'll tell you this, even though I had just barely limited experience with AOL, I did use AOL Instant Messenger a lot.
No, okay. Instant Messenger, on the other hand, was the jam, right?
Yes.
That was
the best messenger. Like it was better than ICQ or what was the other? I don't remember others. But yeah, AOL Instant Messenger was awesome back in the day.
Yeah.
People don't even know about that. It's like that's a whole technology that people, if you try to explain it to like young people today, I don't even know if they'd understand what that even was.
The closest I could put it would be, it's like kind of like a combination of, well, not even like Facebook Messenger. It's almost like instant Facebook Messenger, almost more like a Discord type thing, because people had to specifically know exactly who you were. And
Bassarina, I remember once I met a girl who was in the IRC chats. Now that
IRC
was a little more complicated. If you did the IRC stuff,
you were hardcore.
Yeah, I had an IRC one, but I can't remember what it was called. The thing that I used for that. That was a long time ago. But see, that's the thing. if you're using that stuff, it was a culture to itself. It was like a whole thing, and you had commands, and people had all these graphical things, and like you set up all your own sounds and sound effects, and it was a whole thing. It was like a MySpace, you know. It was like its own. It was a culture, you know. It just doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, dude, I had so many great conversations on AIM.
Yep,
so many great conversations on there. It was just
May
different.
2021, CNBC's Alex Sherman, citing a person familiar with the matter, said the number of AOL dial-up users had dwindled to the low thousands. That was the low thousands in 2021. What?
Thousands.
What?
Again, I think this is some aspect of user base that we're not really thinking about. It has it's got to have something to do with being remote or being, you know, in a place that doesn't have access to regular internet stuff. There's there's something to that. I don't know. But
there's the disc. Yeah.
Yeah, those discs, you could bend them all the way. I don't know how they made these discs, but like they were almost indestructible. Like you could literally throw them as frisbees and they would still work. Like, not that you would want to use them ever, but yeah, the best one was the floppies, which they stopped doing right away because they figured out we were all just copying over them and using them for other stuff. You know, it's like when we were in television and radio broadcasting, Max, the guy that ran the radio station, he told me he loved it when people would send him cassettes. They would send him whatever, you know, demos or songs or material, whatever it was on cassette, because he would just immediately tape over it and put something else on it. He's like, I love that. I was like, okay. He's like, once in a while.
Oh, go on.
I said, he's like, once in a while, they'll send me a reel.
Ooh.
And we all use those reels. Anyway,
yeah,
never mind. Dude, anyway. It's a whole other thing.
That's what you know. I remember my peak AOL instant messaging was band drama, trying to get people workable and dating. Nice.
There might have been some extracurricular activities that took place on AOL Instant Messenger from time to time. It might have happened.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that. That was a day. That was back. Remember chat rooms? Just going.
I used to run a chat room for the radio station in Dallas.
Okay.
For 105.3, my buddies that had a radio show, I ran their official chat room. And I did it all in Perl script. It was it was a real, like, you know, went in there and did all the scripting and stuff and maintained it. It was a lot of work, man. That was a whole different ball game than what we do today. But yeah, I ran a chat room for people back in the day.
That's awesome.
I couldn't even tell you how to do any of that shit anymore.
All that code doesn't work anymore anyway.
Probably not. Yeah, you're probably right. I wouldn't even know how to, because it was like Perl scripting and stuff. I had to upload stuff and do server side includes and all that weird shit. I barely remember this stuff. This was 20 something years ago.
Yeah, so. No joke, man. Like I'm sure if I look back at some of this stuff I used to do, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I don't even know how to FTP anymore. Like, I really don't. Like,
that's why you Google it.
Yeah,
that's why you Google it. So, but yeah, when I saw this story, I was like, okay, we got to talk about this, just because, you know, back in the day, and then of course, you know, the famous sound, you know, and you knew exactly what was happening, and you know, make sure no one else was, you know, don't use the phone, I'm on the internet. That would knock you off.
Oh yeah, and people didn't know, and they would have that call waiting or whatever, where it would do the different rings or do the, like, if you're on the phone, you would hear a thing if there was another caller, and you could flip over, and old technology people don't even know about. Like,
you had to go in, and when you were telling it to dial, you had to put in a special code that would like disable the call waiting. And yeah, I remember all that. So remember installing my first was it 72 baud modem, 7200 baud modem.
Oh wow.
think, yeah. And
We had 28.8, and then we got a 56, and we thought we were in.
oh yeah,
like, it was like holy shit.
wow, the pictures are loading fast now.
Yeah, I can actually see the lines coming in.
All right.
Or slowly unpixelating.
Yeah.
There's the other one you would see all the time.
I hated getting online, then someone calling and disconnecting you. Yep, loop. That's what we were just talking about. I'm trying to think what was. Oh, it was the IT crowd. There's a very funny episode where he's like on a dating site and it's doing that, and it's like they're just watching it. You know, you can't. You're seeing them watching the screen, and they're just like, nice hair. She's got nice forehead. Forehead looks nice. Eyebrows are important. It's just because it's just slowly loading. So, let's see, Bastarino. All the old protocols. I'm trying to do CompTIA A+ practice tests, and there's just stuff that I haven't been exposed to, and it's relevant in the industry these days. Yep. Wow. Like, man, I never did finish my CompTIA A+ certification. Just because when I got out into the real world, a lot of people were like, the little computer store, I was like, they're like, yeah, that's fine to have, but no one gives a shit. I'm just like, so.
Oh, Luke brings up the Dreamcast. Did you ever get to did you ever log in or doing that? Okay, I did. And
I didn't get a Dreamcast until after the Dreamcast was dead. Like, I bought it after it had already hit its.
Well, let me just say this. It was fucking awesome. Like, you would log into the internet and you could actually download DLC. They had content for like Sonic. They had little VMU games you could download that played on the VMU. They had extra stuff for certain games. I played NFL 2K. I don't know if it was 2K or 2K1. I played one of those online a few times and got my ass destroyed. But it worked. I played Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast. Which I was disappointed in because it wasn't like Phantasy Star. I was expecting it to be like Phantasy Star. I was like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
No, my brother was like, oh my God, look at that. And I'm like, we're two different RPGers.
Yeah.
My brother was into EverQuest for many, many years.
Oh, I can see that eating his life.
It did. Like, that's all he did was play EverQuest. And then he moved on to other stuff. But he did that for many years. Mm-hmm. So Phantasy Star Online was like right up his alley. And he would have played it, but he was already doing EverQuest, I guess. But for me, I was like, what? It's not like Phantasy Star. I don't know. This isn't a JRPG. Yeah. But it was cool. Dreamcast Online was better than it had any right to be. It was really good. It was so far ahead of the game, Mm-hmm. Damn shame. Damn shame.
I never the first console I personally had that I went online with was the 360.
Oh yeah.
And then before that, I mean, I had a PlayStation 2, and I remember I was working at Cox Communications, and we had a training one night talking about how, hey, Sony is bringing, online gaming, and, you're going to have to troubleshoot some of this stuff. So they had us in there, and we were, kind of, watching them set it up and work with it and everything. And I was just like, yeah, this is cool, but I don't know. It just never really grabbed me. And then, like I said, I didn't get a console that was like, really focused on being online until I got a 360. So,
well, I know when we had 360, that was the best online gaming experience that I've ever had. Like,
so much fun.
We played, you and me and my brother and different friends of ours, we would play all the time. And it worked. It just worked. Sometimes you had a couple of problems, but it wasn't bad. No. And the voice chat was good. It was really good. That was a very, very good experience.
Before I had my boys, literally there were months that went by that Saturday for my wife and I was like we'd clean the house Friday night. We probably would end up doing grocery shopping on Sunday, but Saturday was meant for, I was sitting my ass on the couch playing Xbox 360 online, and she was over at a friend's house watching college football and drinking and having fun with her friends. and then we get together, in the evening and have dinner and have a good evening or whatever. But yeah, like that Saturday was Xbox Day. That was Call of Duty. That was Left 4 Dead. That was like those,
Minecraft.
That was some good weekends.
There's so many days and nights that we would just get together and for hours play Xbox 360. What a great system.
So, but yeah, so if I'm sure no one who's watching this is still using this AOL dial-up, but if you are, I'm gonna have to find something else. Which I'm sure they probably announced this officially to those people a long time ago.
I'm surprised they say thousands. I was like thousands. I was like thinking maybe not even hundreds. Like maybe like
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
but they're like thousands. Like maybe there's a lot of really old people that don't know jack shit about technology that just we've been using AOL since I got on this internet, and that's all we gonna use.
Yep, that's how they got started, and they're just like, I'm comfortable with it. Why change? So.
And they're still alive, so
I can only imagine, their kids are just like, I can't text them. I can't send them pictures. I can't send them pictures through email like I would everyone else. Because it takes them, it takes me a day and a half to download the picture she sent. So.
Mom, you don't have to use that. Remember, we got you set up with this other thing. I just don't like it. It's too fast.
Yep.
I told you I don't like things that are too fast. It's like, okay.
I like to click the download button and go get me a drink, and I come back.
Start my water boiling. I come back.
And the picture's ready. I click it, and before I can even get out of the chair, it's done.
I don't need all them pictures coming that fast at me. Okay. Back in my day, you took one picture and you had that one picture.
Yep.
You kids these days don't appreciate things.
Anyway, man.
That's probably how we sound to like your kids. They're probably like, oh, talking about.
Oh, I guarantee there are some things I say and they're just like, Dad, come on, man. The thing they really needle me on though still is like they really want me to play like freaking Fortnite, and I'm like, guys, I've done it once. I'm okay. I know
I did it once.
I know I'm gonna break down at some point.
My buddy Max is always talking to me about this idea that we're gonna play Fortnite sometime, and I'm the same as you. I'm like, I guess if that's what you want to do, like I played it years ago, and I'm like, I'm good. I had that experience, but Max insists it's a lot better now. And I'm like, okay. So the last couple of times this has been brought up, I installed it and I still never played it. So we should play it sometime. You know what? Eugene, we got to play something, You're
right.
And we got to play something that is on PC because that's the only way I'm playing online anymore.
It's because even then, like Nick told me the other day, he's like, yeah, I'm like, what are you playing on Xbox Game Pass? He goes, nothing really right now. I'm like, then why are we paying for it? Well, I'm like, no, if you're not going to, I'm like, we can always re-up. Like, that's not a problem. I'm like, but if I'm paying for it month after month and you're not downloading or playing anything on it, you're just throwing my money away.
You know how it is though, Eugene? It's like, I've had this experience. I'm pretty sure you have too, where you're like, I don't need this thing. I can get rid of this. Like I'm getting rid of my PlayStation 5, right? And I have a feeling what's going to happen, which is what always happens to me, where I get rid of something and I'm like, oh, but now I want to play it. Hopefully it doesn't happen with PS5 since pretty much everything I was going to play on that, I could play on my PC anyway. So hopefully I don't have that happen. But I have had that happen to me several times with things. And that's one of the reasons I had to rebuy some hardware, some consoles and things that I used to have, but I got rid of and I couldn't stop thinking about. So you get rid of Game Pass and you might be like, well, yeah, I wasn't playing anything on Game Pass anyway. And then like, as soon as you get rid of it, you're going to see something and go, oh, it's on Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's like you get rid of an app and there's a show that comes out that's on that app and you're like, ugh, which by the way, they're getting rid of Hulu. Did you hear about this?
They're not getting rid of Hulu. They're just fully integrating it to Disney Plus.
I don't know how that works exactly.
So you know how like on Hulu or Disney Plus, they have the different tiles for different things?
Yeah.
Hulu's just going to live in one of those tiles.
So you're still going to have to pay for it separately?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not paying for an app within an app. That's not, this is not Inception. We're not living in some dream within a dream world or whatever. No, sir.
See, and I think they should have, well, no, I guess either way, to me, it's just like I have both. I have Hulu and Disney Plus because I have them as a package. But like, if I want to watch Hulu stuff, I use the Hulu app because I know what to expect there. I don't go into Disney Plus and then go into Hulu. And like, my boys don't really watch anything on Hulu, but Nick occasionally will watch stuff on Disney Plus. And so to me, it's like you're kind of stuffing the adult stuff in with the kid stuff. And it would be nice if we could keep those separated. But I get where they're coming from because they're basically like, well, they both exist within the same thing. Why are we paying money to upkeep two platforms? I get that because they're basically owned by the same company. So it's like, I get why would you have two different apps? But like I said, once again, it's like, yeah, but you're kind of, once again, you're trying to stuff everything into one thing and you're going to make it so parents are going to be like, oh, can kids get to everything in Hulu? Like, I think they have parental locks on it. I got to go and check. I mean, my boys are 13. I don't care. But I'm sure there are other people who were like, no, I could hand them Disney Plus and they would be, once again, as a parent, I know they're okay. Whereas on Hulu, it's like, there's all kinds of stuff. So.
Oh my God.
OMG. Talking about
no way.
Fast.
No way. Jay.
What's up, Jay?
What? Where have you been? Where has my Jay gone?
Hello, Jay.
Dude.
For those of you who don't know, Jay was heavily part of the old website, onemanasylum.com. Yeah, it's been a while, dude. It's been a while. So.
I miss you so much, Jay. When's the last time we even talked? It's been, I saw you. Where did I see you? On something. Maybe it was Xbox or something. I saw you on there and I was like, oh, Jason. And that was just like a few days ago, but we haven't talked.
Working like crazy, 102 hours last week alone. Good God.
Whoa.
I miss you guys too. Damn, dude.
Dude, I have another channel. I don't know if you have seen it, Jason. Look this up on YouTube.
He's typing for everyone who's not currently watching live. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, so
just look this up on YouTube. You'll find my channel and we'll hang out with me there. I do streams all the time on there.
Yeah.
And hang out here too, please. It's good to see you again, dude. Or you see your name anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're going to wrap up for this week. We're almost at an hour and a half, and I have work tomorrow, and it's going to be the first day for the kids coming back, so it's going to be a nightmare. So always fun times.
Yeah.
So with that said, we'll go ahead and start wrapping up. As always, you can find us at epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all the shows we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, Creatively Geeky, Marginally Geeky, and Sustainably Geeky. We actually just had an episode come out yesterday where we interviewed a local author. She writes modern day choose your own adventure books. And that was really cool. Before she started writing like the early 2000s. She spent 15 years designing microchips for like Motorola and stuff. Like,
oh, wow.
I was like, and what was funny was as we were having the conversation, I was like, I understand why your brain works that way. Because if you're designing microchips to do certain things, designing a multiple path book, that totally makes sense. She goes, oh yeah, it totally kind of flows back and forth. So that was a really good interview. But yeah, check us out there. You can find us at, epicallygeeky.com. You can find us at Epically Geeky on Facebook and Instagram as well. And then of course we've been doing this live stream every Tuesday. I've got to check and see when next games start and what day they are. I don't think they're on Tuesdays, but if they are, we may have to move stuff around a little bit, but we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out one way or the other. Because
Jason, thank you.
Too much fun. So
Luke, thank you. And Bassarino, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry here. Let's see here. After we working 6 hours. Dude, yeah.
Get some sleep, dude, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, thanks for being on. Bassarino, Jay, thanks for joining us. Like I said, we've been trying to do this pretty consistently every Tuesday. So, if you got a place to go on Tuesday nights, that's where it is. So, Cyrus, where can we find you online?
Super Mega Graphics 64 on YouTube. Just exactly like you see on the screen there. Jason is my newest subscriber.
Oh, I've got to fix this one. It's still spelled out. I forgot you changed it to SMG 64 plus. So.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. If you find the first one, you can find the second one. I have two channels. One's for live streams, one's for videos, but just the live stream one's the main one. So Super Mega Graphics 64.
When he pops on a Sunday morning unannounced to go, hey, I'm getting rid of my PlayStation 5, and basically talk to himself. It was funny because the whole time I kept thinking, I'm just like, he's just talking himself into it.
No, I've been talking myself into it for a while. Like, because it was sitting there and I was like, why do I have it? I'm not using it. I know she wants it. And I'm like, I'm just going to give it to her. I should have gave it to her a long time ago, but her birthday come around and I was like,
that's a good time. That's a good reason and a good time to do it, man.
The biggest reason I didn't sell it was I was like, I have all these games. I have this huge digital library. If I sell it, nobody's going to play any of those games. They're just going to sit there. Yeah. So anyway, this was the best. The best thing.
Absolutely. This is the best way to do it. So, and as always, you want to follow my individual Wacky Adventure. You can find me at Optimus Gene on Facebook and Instagram. For everyone on the site, what's the twist? What's the score? What's behind?